All right, everybody, welcome to our first Diesel Nation call of November. It is November 7th. It's a special call tonight because we have my dear friend Danielle Whitford on the call, who I will introduce in just a second. And I'm going to toss it over to Becky for some kickoff announcements, some big news for Diesel Nation with Team Spirit. I hope you guys heard the big news. Well, I'm sure you did. But I'll toss it over to Becky first, and then we will have our guest speaker take over for our first call of November 2016. Go, Becky.
Hey guys, good evening. Thank you guys for jumping on tonight. So yeah, the Team Spirit, I hope you guys saw the image that Carl was sharing all over the place. I even got tagged on Twitter. I don't even use Twitter, but somehow I got an email saying that he had tagged me on Twitter. But congratulations to you guys. You guys showed up in numbers, and now it's time to take it a step further. Don't forget to hashtag the pictures and your videos with Team Beachbody, Team Spirit, and then hashtag Diesel Nation. Also, don't forget, if you're posting videos of quarter fours on Instagram or Twitter, that you're hashtagging them with hashtag quarter fours and hashtag contest for the video contest. So now's the time to really step it up, get your teams on board with posting and really sharing and sharing. Yeah, it's Instagram and Twitter only. It's not on Facebook. So make sure you're doing that. A lot of you started quarter fours today. Make sure, please, that you are sharing oh my God, I just completely combined two words that didn't go together into one. Make sure that you're sharing your experience and your journey openly on social media to get other people on board. My suggestion is that you start planning a group for November 28th, which is the weekend after Thanksgiving. It'll be perfect. They'll end right before Christmas or right near Christmas. It's perfect timing to end the year on a high note. So start sharing. The only way people are going to know is if you are putting it out there. So don't be an undercover coach. Don't be an undercover quarter four supporter. Be out there just sharing what you love. The challenge pack is on sale, and all of that information is in the Coach Online office. But right now is the time to really hit it hard, and I'm really proud of you guys. 2016 has been amazing, but there's still time to make it even more awesome. So keep showing up for yourself, for your team, and for your goals and your why. And I don't know if there's anything else. Just keep doing sharing so that Team Spirit is a huge month. I mean, we've got goals that we want to accomplish, but we need you guys, your support, to keep showing up.
I'm going to apologize in advance, Becky, if you talked about the fact that Diesel Nation is currently ranked number 2 in Team Spirit, because Marley was like,
oh, I didn't see that. No, I didn't see that.
Okay, so let me just highlight that fact. And I don't know if, like, when that cutoff was. I think they sent out an email, like, on the second day or something, and on November 2nd or 3rd, we were ranked 2nd in overall Success Club points. And I know at that point, a ton of people's points hadn't updated yet. So there's a good chance that we are up there still in terms of overall Team Success Club points. So at this point, we've won largest team. We can win most spirited with our tagging of Team Beachbody, Team Spirit, and Diesel Nation on Instagram and Twitter. I don't know who's on Twitter, but on Instagram. And the cream of the crop prize in this whole thing is to hit that overall Success Club points. So if we can band together, and you guys are the leaders, right? You guys are the ones that show up on calls. You're the ones hitting Success Club. But if we can transfer this information to the downline and get everyone on board to hit Success Club in November, to push themselves, to push their business, we can literally take 3 out of the 4 Team Spirit Awards. Like, we know we cannot win the averages one because there's too many people registered on our team, but we can definitely take most spirited, largest team, and overall Success Club points if we band together. Could you imagine the message that we'll send? We are not the biggest team in the network. We are not by far the not biggest team. You have the Bombshell Dynasty, you have the Platinum Presenters, you have all those teams that have way more coaches than we do. But that's what they don't have that we have, is an amazing culture of friendly competition, of getting together, of this sisterhood and brotherhood that we have, it would be freaking amazing. So let's keep our energy up. What's crazy is that usually, and I just go back to like last year's calls in October and November, and all I'm talking about is, come on guys, start, plant those seeds. These are the hard months. We can do it. Please do it. Like, that's usually what I'm saying and what Becky's saying. And I don't feel like that's the message this year. The message is quarter force, quarter force, quarter force. You can do this. We can all do this. We can have major Novembers and Decembers. Like, forget that business goes down at this time of the year. I'm like kicking butt. A lot of you are kicking butt. Like, let's just keep this energy up, and we could take this whole team spirit competition. I'm like really psyched about that. Our name's already going up in corporate on the banner for largest team. Can you imagine if it said Diesel Nation, Diesel Nation, Diesel Nation? That would be sick. Like, sick. So let's keep pushing for that, guys. It would be amazing. But remember, don't just keep this information that you're going to hear tonight to yourself. The key is that you're telling your teams, that you're telling your partners, that you're telling, your uplines that aren't on this call. We got to do this. We got to push, and we got to band together. Think of the effect it's going to have on your business if you hit Success Club and you're helping those in your downline hit Success Club at any level, whether it's PS or not PS, that you are leading from the front. All right. Becky, did you have anything else to add there? No? Okay, so let's turn over to Danielle Whitford. So Danielle and I met earlier this year. It was in the summer. Liz Harty, I don't know if you guys know, is my success partner. Elizabeth Harty, she's a superstar diamond coach, and she invited me to her leaders retreat in Boston, right? Well, Danielle's from Wisconsin and Liz is from Boston, and I had to try to talk like them during this whole retreat thing. But I go with Liz and Michael up to this beautiful lake house in Lake Winnipesaukee. It's like incredible. And we're just hanging out, and in comes Danielle, first one through the door, and I feel like we like zinged, right? Like, have you seen Hotel Transylvania and you zing? Well, Danielle and I zinged, and we hit it off, and we spent the whole weekend together, and we talked business and laughed and drank margaritas and had a great time. And I just got to know her and her story, which is incredible. She's going to share it tonight. But just from complete and utter, like, I can't do this, to what she's done now is just so inspiring to me. She's been a coach since January 2014 and was able to go full-time in February of 2015. How cool is that? A year and a month from coach to full-time. She's the founder of Dedication Nation, which is her awesome team. She's a 5-star diamond coach, a 2015 premier coach. She was at leadership, hopefully pushing for elite this year. An SC5 legend, so Success of 5 legend. She's hit SC5 for 24 months. She's an SC10 all-star, I would assume probably pushing for SC10 legend. And she's part of the Wisconsin Market Council. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to my dear friend Danielle Whitford to share her story and her top tips for having a successful Beachbody business.
Wow. Hi, guys. That was quite the introduction. Thank you, Christina. I am so insanely honored to be here. I'm not going to lie. I almost shit myself when Christina asked me because you guys are so awesome. Little warning. Maybe I should start with this. If you guys have kids on the call, I swear like a sailor. I'm really sorry about that. So maybe plug their ears or put your headphones in or something. I'll try really hard to not do that. All right. So it's kind of choppy. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah? Okay, good. My computer is kind of a pile of shit. So if I disappear, I will be getting my husband's computer and coming back to you guys, I promise. Okay, so Christina asked me to talk to you guys about how I almost quit, and I didn't. I legitimately sent in my cancellation form, almost quit. It's funny because she mentioned Elizabeth, my upline. She tells me all the time that I'm never gonna live this down. She says it like I should be embarrassed, which I mean, I guess maybe I started out kind of being embarrassed, but I'm not, because it's actually a really big part of my story and about who I am and who I was before Beachbody. So actually, before I start, this is driving me crazy. I'm just going to break my husband's computer. 1 second. Sorry, guys.
I'll jump in here. So let me just, she's going to get her husband's computer. I don't know what, there's probably like she's hearing something that's not letting her concentrate. But Danielle sent in her cancellation form. And this was a funny story at leadership while she's doing that. When she starts talking, I'll stop. But Liz spoke at leadership, and Liz was able to get her on the phone. And prior to sending in her cancellation form, she had told Liz, you know, I want to be home with my family. I hate my job. I don't want to go to my job. And so when she sent in her cancellation, Liz, you know, most time you get a cancellation, you're just like, oh, well, you know, next. Liz actually got her on the phone and said, what, do you all of a sudden love your job and hate your kids? Like, what's the deal here? And she realized, like, what am I doing? And she told Coach Relations, don't process the cancellation. And that's when her business started. So that's just a kind of like a nugget for you. And cancellations, that sometimes it takes a little bit of reaching out to that person to see where they are in their life, to get them back involved. Go ahead, Danielle. You ready?
Right. No, I think it's fine. My computer just is a pile of crap, and his isn't working, so it's fine. Okay, so yeah, so she tells me I'm not gonna live it down, but it's a part of my story. It's like, so how many of you have ever quit something where, you know, like maybe you didn't give it a good try, or, you know, you didn't really like give it your all? Anybody? Show hands. Quitters at all? Sort of, maybe. Former quitters, reformed quitters, as I like to call it. Well, I didn't just quit 1 or 2 things in my life. Like, I was a chronic quitter. Like, I was the person who, the second things got hard, the second things got tough, stressful, the second I got tired, the second things didn't go my way, if I was not fully invested, I quit. My husband used to actually call me a job hopper, because I would start a new job. I would think it's going to be the thing that changes my life. I would, you know, be in that honeymoon phase for a couple of months, and then I'd realize it's just like every other job, and there's things that I hate, and there's things that aren't going to go my way, and then I'd start looking for the next job, and within 8 months of being at a new job, I would find a new job. So I didn't get fired or anything, but my resume was like a laundry list, because I would stop and I would go find something else. Like, I was constantly searching for this fulfillment that I couldn't find. All right, so I'm actually going to give you guys my story, just because I think that's a really important thing for you guys to understand, so you guys can have a better understanding of why I was a quitter and kind of like my background. So my story is actually twofold, so I'm going to jump around a little bit. Hopefully you guys can stick with me, because I'm going to tell you a little bit about my weight loss journey and a little bit about a lot more about my business journey. So my weight loss journey, actually, like, something you should know is I'm very, very close to my family. I'm very, very tight with my parents. I'm an only child to my mom, and I'm the youngest for my dad. So, like, very, very close to them. They showered me with every sort of love, affection. They gave me everything. The one thing they did not give me was a healthy lifestyle. We're very German Dutch, so we're all about like meat, like red meat, potatoes, canned vegetables. I joke, but sort of seriously, that I don't think I had a fresh leaf of spinach until I was like 20. That's just that's how they were raised. They came from big families, so, you know, they knew how to stretch the dollar without a lot of nutrition. And that's how I was raised. We're emotional eaters, we're stress eaters, which is just all a very bad combination. So I was very uneducated about living a healthy lifestyle. And I live in a town where we're known for our cheese and our broths, the sausages, and hard rolls. So I'm kind of surrounded by not a whole lot of healthy living, right? Well, you know, my high school years were fine. You know, the metabolism, the classic high school girl, like, if I don't eat anything, I'll be skinny, it'll be great. And then I would come home and gorge myself on whatever mom made for dinner, because let's face it, I like food. So by the time I hit my 20s, just another thing you guys should know about me is I married my high school sweetheart. We're actually been married for 7 years today, which is pretty cool. Together for 1 billion years, basically. I don't want to age myself too much. But when I met him, actually, he was someone who, I remember eating lunch with him in the cafeteria. So this is our sophomore year of high school. First time eating lunch with my boyfriend. I'm so excited. I'm like, oh, this is lovely. And I didn't have a lunch because, like I said, I was that girl who was like, I don't need to eat anything. It'll be fine. And he looked at me straight in my face. We'd been dating for like a month. And he's like, where's your lunch? And I'm like, I'm not hungry. And he's like, it's lunchtime. Of course you're hungry. And it's true. Of course I was hungry. I was starving. I was always starving. And I gave in, because of him. I actually thank him because of him, I didn't, really push toward horrible diseases like anorexia or anything. And I think I would have fallen victim to that or bulimia or anything like that, because that was the mentality I had, was that if I deprive myself, I can have the thing that I want that I can't have right now. And thankfully for him, because of him in my life, I didn't ever pursue really extreme measures, because he always kept me grounded. That's how he works. He keeps my feet planted firmly on the ground. But over the years with our relationship, I was really happy with him, but I was always really stressed out. I always bit off more than I could chew. My eating habits were out of control. I never worked out. I always had that. I was always that person, was on Monday my diet starts, Monday it starts. And I never did it. I made these deals with myself. So I would tell myself, okay, so when I have to go up a size, then I'll do something about it. And that would come and go, and I wouldn't do anything. And then I was like, okay, well, when I hit 200 pounds, then I'll do something about it. And that came and went. When I have to shop in the plus size department, I'll do something about it. And that came and went. Made all these deals, these empty promises to myself, and nothing ever happened. Nothing happened until I had my daughter. So I have two daughters, Lily, who's going to be 5 next month, and Valerie, who's 2. So after I had that, actually, I'm going to try to, this is going to be, okay, I'm not going to share I was going to share my screen with you guys and show you the picture. Instead, I'm just going to send it to Christina and she can share it with you guys, because I don't want my computer to explode, because that's what happened on the last call that I did with this. So just picture this, all right? Go with me. So I had my daughter. I was near 300 pounds when I had her. The last, I guess you could call it, deal that I made with myself was when I was embarrassed to be in a picture, then I would do something about it. Well, conveniently enough, for the 2 years prior to having her, I wouldn't let anyone take my picture. Go figure. But the picture I have of me on the hospital bed, I know hospital gowns are not the most flattering apparel, I get it, but it was the biggest wake-up call for me. I look at that picture and I don't have a neck. I look like Jabba the Hutt, if anybody's familiar with Star Wars. And I don't say that because I was pregnant. Let me be very clear. I think pregnancy is beautiful. I think the female body can do wonderful things. I am so thankful that I could carry my 2 beautiful daughters. But in that moment, it was not a picture of being a mom. It was a picture of what I had done to myself the many years prior to that. And it was the biggest wake-up call. It was this moment where I'm supposed to be over the moon. I'm supposed to be so elated. And I was. She was healthy. She was perfect. But I was not healthy or perfect. I had this person that I wanted to live for, that I wanted to give everything to. And I couldn't even get on the floor with her. Picturing playing with her at the park gave me sweats. I couldn't it made me nervous to think about. So I decided in that moment that I would do something about it. It has to happen. It's no longer an option. It's no longer, well, maybe Monday, well, maybe next year. It's now. It has to be now. Because it was going to cost me years of my life and years with my daughter, and that was not okay with me. Because it was no longer about me. So 6 weeks after I had her, I had a C-section. So 6 weeks after I had her, had my doctor appointment, went straight from my doctor appointment to Weight Watchers. Because I live in a relatively small town and I didn't know anything. That's why it's important for you guys to know that when you think about sharing on social media and talking about your journey and sharing these amazing products that have changed our lives, there are people out there who are still like me, where they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what exists, what's real, what's going to kill them, what's bad for them. They don't know. They're going to Google it and they're going to hope that they get a decent answer. I literally, like, that's all I knew was the people in my town, they go to Weight Watchers. So that's where I went. I signed up with Weight Watchers. I went straight from Weight Watchers to the only gym that we had in town. And I signed a 2-year contract. Another thing, when someone tells you that what we sell is expensive, I'm here to tell you it is not expensive. Because Weight Watchers and that gym membership, in addition to the gym membership, I also got personal training for, it was 3 sessions a week, half an hour each, for $300 a month, $45 for the gym membership, and I think it was $45 at the time for Weight Watchers. I mean, do the math. That's per month. I was paying $400, and that wasn't including my groceries or superfood shake. Like, that's insane. And the personal trainer was only 3 days a week. That was not my entire workout. I still had to work out in between that. Like, I still had to come the other 2 or 3 or 4 days a week. So just a little math tip for you guys. If you ever get that objection, just in your head, know that they're just not ready because it's not the money. All right. So I started with that because I didn't know what I was doing. I lost about 40 pounds in 9 months, which was pretty good considering everything else I had tried before that point. I had quit. And then I stalled out. I plateaued hardcore for like 4 or 5 months. I'm pretty impressed with myself that I didn't throw in the towel altogether, to be honest with you. Like, because that was my MO, was I'll just quit because it's not going to work. But I think part of the reason why I stalled out was that with Weight Watchers, I don't want to speak any ill of it because to each their own. There are healthy ways to do that program. I was not doing it the healthy way. I was following the point system, and I was still eating pizza and cheeseburgers more than my fair share. So I wasn't doing the right way, so I'm not going to get results. The other piece of the puzzle was that at the time, I was working full time. I had just finished my MBA. I was commuting an hour one way, and I had my daughter at home. She was now, 9 months, 10 months. She was able to see me. She was able to say mama. She was able to interact with me more. She was doing fun things, awake more often. And I did not want to spend 1 minute of my 3 hours of time with my daughter at the gym. I did not want to do it. I didn't care that I was paying $40 a month. I didn't care because none of that mattered compared to spending time with her. So I stopped going to the gym. Okay, there you go. I wasn't eating healthy. I wasn't eating the right portions, and I was not going to the gym. Obviously, I'm not going to get results. So during that time, I had started following various things on Facebook, different fitness inspirational pages and things, just to keep myself, because I didn't have a community. I mean, I had Weight Watchers 1 hour a week, half hour a week. I don't even remember. It was very short. That little tiny one moment in my week, I had a community. Outside of that, I had to create my own, which is what I did through these fitness pages. I kind of followed everybody. And kind of along the way, I kind of heard about Beachbody and Shakeology, and I was like, yeah, it's a scam. Yeah, no, it's not for me. I don't drink shakes. I like to chew my food. Blah, blah, blah. All those things that we hear. And finally, I was so fed up with stalling out and not seeing results that I posted something on my personal page. Because I wanted to, this is the thing, when you Google something, I love Google. I am all for Google and being your own researcher and being a student. But the thing with Google sometimes is that usually when you Google something, you'll get the extremes, right? You'll get the coaches who, of course, they love it. And you'll get the people who tried it one time shaken with 8 ounces of water and hated it, right? So I'm like, I don't know what to believe. So I posted on my personal page, like, do any of you know what this is? Like, has anybody tried this? Thankfully, I got connected to Elizabeth Hartke. And I became the customer that everyone hates because I was the one who, we chatted. She was amazing, so responsive. I shared my story with her. I told her what I wanted to do. We agreed on something that worked. And then I fell off the face of the planet. Like, she sent me a link. I said, I'll do it tonight. And then I stopped responding. And then this is the thing, you guys. I told her this actually at retreat this year. It's so funny because I tried to go back and look at our first messages to be like, oh, that'd be fun to reflect on. I was so embarrassed that I stopped responding and so embarrassed that I told her I would do something and I didn't follow through that I deleted the message and hoped she would just go away. Like, I didn't unfriend her. I just deleted it and it was like, it will disappear. It will be fine. Luckily, she's a good coach, and she followed up with me multiple times. She didn't nag me. I think it was once a month for like 4 months. And I swear every time I told her, I either ignored her and deleted it, or I said, yeah, I'll do it. And then I didn't do it. Finally, I don't even know what my breaking point was. I'm guessing it was another summer where I felt not confident, not good about myself. And T25 was coming out. And I was like, 25 minutes a day, man, I can do that. At home, sure. So I put it on a credit card. I finally did it. And I signed up. I say I signed up as a hobby coach. And I say that because I signed up, I wasn't all in. And that's why I say it that way, because there's a difference between being an all-in coach who's here with through the good and the bad, and someone who's like, well, maybe I'll give it a try. And I was the maybe I'll give it a try coach at that point. So I hit Success Club my first month, and no month after that, because I wasn't doing the work. If I'm being totally honest, I was posting and that was it. I was posting and doing my stuff, but I wasn't talking to people. I finished T25. I saw great results. I finally got off my plateau. I finally hit my 50-pound loss mark that I'd been working so hard for, and I wanted so bad, and I didn't know how to get there. I finally got there with just Shakeology and T25. There was no 21-day fix at that point. Like, it was just Shakeology and working out again and getting results. It was amazing. I think I actually hit that point within like 5 weeks or something. It was awesome. And then I got pregnant. I finished T25, and like I was gonna start Insanity the next week, and I got pregnant. Like, I found out I was pregnant like the Friday before. And I was like, oh, well, I guess that changes things. So in my mind, that meant I couldn't coach, because to me, one, I wasn't all in, and two, I still had a lot of weight to lose. Three, now I'm pregnant. Like, no one wants to take health and fitness advice from an obese pregnant woman. Like, that's not how this works. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to cancel, and then I'll come back. Like, once I have the baby and I see results and I have a transformation again, I'll coach again. So I submitted my cancellation form. I got the email that they were going to cancel it on November 1st of 2013. Luckily, Liz, my amazing upline, reached out to me and was like, hey, what's going on? And I was like, oh, hey, yeah, I'm pregnant. No one knows yet. I've just found out. So, obviously I can't coach. And I know Christina kind of told you guys about this, kind of overheard it, but she's like, yeah, I don't think you get what this is. She's like, I support you no matter what you decide to do. She's like, if you want to wait, that's great. She's like, but if you want to change your life, she's like, I'm not talking physical. She's like, if you want to impact your future, be home with your babies, like if you want to do those things that you talk about like it's never going to happen, like this is something that can do that for you. But you have to decide that. Like, she's like, I can't decide that for you. I don't know what it was, but in that moment, like, I heard her just the right way to withdraw my cancel. Like, I literally hung up the phone with her and I called Coach Relations and was like, okay, I want to withdraw my cancellation. Please don't cancel my account. But I still wasn't all in. This is the crazy thing, right? Is that I was still, like, I was the lurker coach now. I was like in the team page and friends with all the coaches that signed around the same time as I did and were doing stuff. But I didn't talk. I didn't do anything. I didn't coach. I was that, what did she say earlier? What did she call it? Undercover coach. Like, I was like I'm like gonna observe everything. I wrote that down because I thought that was great. I was that person that was just like there, but not really there. And I watched all these people. You guys know Colleen Curtis, like, or formerly Eddie. I don't know how you guys know her. We signed up within like days of each other. Like, so I'm watching her do all these awesome things, and I'm like watching Liz, and I'm watching all these new coaches. So I'm just kind of observing, right? All right, so back to my story a little bit for you guys. I had a great job on paper. I had this corporate job. I was a metal buyer for a local automotive company. I was making a really good income with great benefits, not a lot of vacation time. But like they would tell me, I'm young, so I don't need to have a lot of vacation time. And it was great on paper. And honestly, if I hadn't had kids, I may have worked that job my entire life because it was great on paper. But now I had this baby, this daughter at home that I wanted to be with. And now I had another one on the way that I wanted to be with. And I was going to be in the same situation where I would get 10 to 12 weeks with her tops and have to go back to work. And I was not okay with that. Like that idea in my brain, just like, it made me want to just smash my head through the wall. Like it tore me up so bad, you guys. This is the funny part. Okay, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. So you kind of jump around, you get what I'm saying? Okay, before I had Lily, before I had my first daughter, I swore. I mean, I was 9 months pregnant, out to here, pregnant. And I swore I would never want to be a stay-at-home mom. I swore. Like if you guys have not had kids yet, do not swear you will do or not do anything because you are wrong. Kids change everything in some way. In some way. Maybe you do have it figured out already. We're like, I'm going to be a coach, screw you. I know what I'm doing. That's great. Good for you. But there are things you still don't know. You aren't until you are. It's my favorite thing my mother-in-law always says. She's so wise. And she always says, you aren't until you are. It's not an insult. It doesn't mean you're less of a person. It just means you are not married until you are married. You are not a mother until you are a mother, or a father until you are a father. You don't know until you're in the moment. That's just the way it is. And that was me. That baby came into this world and I was like, oh shit. Like I have now set my life up where I have to work. I don't want to work. Like I don't want to go to work. Like, and I'm now set up to do that. Like I made double the income that my husband did. It was always the plan that I would work and I would become the CEO of a big corporation. That was my dream, you guys. My dream life was to never see my family and make some money, I guess. That was my vision for my life. She came into the world and it just completely flipped. I'm like, I don't care if I'm poor. I don't care. I don't care if I can't afford shit. Like, I want to be home with her. I want to see what she's doing. I want to be there for it. So that was the most depressing realization I've ever had in my entire life. Because to me, in the moment that I realized that, I didn't have any options. Like, there were no options. Winning the lottery was the only option I thought I had. So, okay, let's go back to where I was. So I'm pregnant with Valerie, still feel like I don't have an option. Liz has just tried to convince me that I do have an option. I don't still really believe it yet. January of 2014. Okay, so I live in Wisconsin. Those of you who live in beautiful Florida won't really understand what I'm about to tell you. But here, sometimes it gets so cold that it's like negative 30 degrees with the wind chill. Like, you walk outside and you aren't even like out the door and you like can't breathe. It's so cold. And we can have that cold for a really long time, like for like weeks straight. It's awful. This was a particularly bad winter. And sometimes when it's that cold, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they close schools. This winter, they closed school 2 days in a row. My daughter's daycare, because remember I was pregnant with the second, Lily's daycare was attached to the school district, meaning when they closed, her daycare closed. I heard the day before that they were going to close, and I was like, okay. So I talked to my boss. I was like, oh yeah, you feel me right there. Okay. All right. We got some East Coasters. You guys get it. Okay. So daycare closed. I told my boss, hey, her daycare's closed. I'm going to have to work from home tomorrow. I had a laptop. I had a cell phone. I was like, I'm going to do this. And she was like, okay, cool, whatever. So I worked from home that day. Nothing fell through the cracks. I kicked ass that day. I remember thinking, I'm sitting here. I was at my in-laws' house in front of the fireplace. My daughter's playing quietly next to me. I have my laptop. And I'm like, I'm just kicking ass. I was so excited. I go into work the next day feeling like a freaking badass. And she calls me into her office and reprimands me for not being at work. Ugh. So I remember staring at her with this like dumbfounded deer in the headlights look, like I thought I was gonna get like yeah, like you kicked ass, like you watched a kid, kept them alive, and did your job. Like that's pretty awesome. No, that's not what happened. I remember walking back to my office and just like I will never forget. I wish I could like take my memory and put it into video for you guys. I can still see what happened. Like I remember sitting at my desk. I remember crying, like just like uncontrollable. I had to shut the door. I like uncontrollable tears. Like I couldn't stop it from happening. I was pregnant, so like obviously could not stop that. Crying, staring at it, and I was like my computer, like what am I gonna do? Like I have a bit, like, it's not gonna get better. Like I'm not facing a time where like, oh well, she'll be in school soon and it's gonna get easier. Like no, it's gonna get harder. Like I'm gonna have 2 of them that will miss daycare and get sicker and have stuff at school and just everything is gonna get crazier. I remember like praying so hard. I'm religious and so like I'm spiritual, whatever you want to call it. I mean, maybe I pray to the universe if you don't believe in God, whatever. But like I prayed so hard in that moment, like I need something. Like I need a sign. I need something. I remember going on at work. I remember going on like the recruiting websites and like typing in. And I knew, like I remember typing it in and knowing I wasn't going to get anything, but typing in work from home or like something that was legitimate. Like I just wanted something. And when I finally exhausted that and was like, okay, obviously I'm not going to find anything. I went on Facebook because that's what you do when you're mad at your job, I guess, is you go on Facebook. And I remember scrolling and I remember it was like every single post that was in my newsfeed that day was something about Beachbody. It was Liz, it was Colleen, it was their team page, it was all of these things. And I was like, hello, you moron. Like prayer answered. Like it's literally right in front of you. And I sent Liz a message that day, January 21st, 2014. I was like, Liz, I'm all in. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like, you're going to literally have to spell it out for me. I'm like, but I'm in. Like, I want what you've told me I can have, and I will do what you tell me I have to do to get there. And I was all in. That was it. Like, that was it. There was no, maybe I'll quit. There was no, maybe this isn't my path. It's always been, this is my path since that moment. So it's been almost 3 years, and I'm still all in. Now, let me just clarify for you guys. That does not mean I have not struggled. Like, when I say I've been all in since that moment, that does not mean that every coach I sign up stays on and does all these awesome things. That doesn't mean every challenger I try to help listens to me or actually does what I tell them to do. It doesn't mean that I don't struggle, okay? It just means that I mentally made the decision that I was all in. Like, that this was it. And I told her that day, I want to be home with my kids 1 year from now. Like, I don't know what it's going to take, but that's what I want. So you tell me how to get there. And she did. She's amazing. I love her. If you guys don't follow her, you should. But I missed it by about a week and a half, which is still, I'm just so incredibly thankful. Liz always talks about how when you talk about recruiting to this business, that you should talk about it like it's a gift. And I am living proof of that. Like, this business, this opportunity is a gift. If this business didn't exist, I would not be home with my kids. I would have missed so much. I take my daughter to school every day. I pick her up every single day. I get to listen to her in the car tell me about her day at school and how amazing it was, because it happened literally 5 minutes before I got there. So it's not like she's had 5 hours of other things where maybe she'd forget what she did in school. Like, I get to hear it, me. When they're sick, when they have sniffly noses, or they just don't feel good, I get to snuggle with them. I get to take them to the doctor. I get to be there for those moments. Yeah, I get to be there for all the shit too, but I get to be there for it. It's not someone else. It's not the babysitter telling me how horrible of their horrible day they had. I get to experience their horrible day right with them, which might sound awful to you. Parenting is the hardest job in the entire world. I don't care what anyone tells you. It is the hardest job. It is the most rewarding, and it is exactly where I want to be. So, and it's because of this business that I get to be there. Okay, so I'm going to share a little bit with you guys, a little bit more about why I didn't quit. Because I talked a little bit about how I was a chronic quitter, right? So why didn't I quit this? There's a quote from Colin Powell that I love. There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. Hard work was something that I never lacked. When I did something, I worked hard at it. Even when I hated my job, I still showed up every day. I still worked really hard. I still got, commendations and stuff. Like, I worked really hard at what I did. What I was lacking was, if I wasn't invested in it, I never prepared myself for the hard stuff. I never opened myself up to the possibility of failure. So when there was a possibility that failure was on the horizon, I would quit before that failure could catch up to me. So why didn't I quit Beachbody? You're thinking, why didn't you? Well, why? I mean, you faced failure, you faced all that stuff in Beachbody, right? It's because I was invested. It's because I was all in, regardless of the hard stuff. I was all in regardless of how hard or stressful it got, how tired I got, how many setbacks I had, how many coach cancellations I got in one day. Like, it didn't matter. Sure, I'd get upset in those moments, but I'd be like, all right, like, moving on, like, onward and upward, because what other choice do I have? Like, this is it. None of those things, those hard things, compared to the hard that was my life before Beachbody. I look at it like working out. I never worked out before, like, consistently before Beachbody. I could say that that's hard. It is. Some days it is hard for me. I still am overweight. Like, it still is hard. But that hard is nothing compared to walking around with 150 extra pounds on your body. That's way harder. Not being able to get on the floor with your kids or run with them at the park. That's way harder. So this business isn't hard, right? It's not, compared to what your life would be like without it. So I decided I was all in, and that was all there was to it. Like, I was in. So if you guys haven't made that decision yet, if you haven't decided that this is it, like, if you're sitting there like, well, I have this plan B and plan C and plan D, like, you're never going to get to where you want to go with this business. You're never going to take it to the next level. It's never going to happen. But if you decide that this is your path, if you know deep down in your heart this is where you are meant to be, then you just need to do it. Like, then it just needs to be, you show up every day, good, bad, ugly, in between, doesn't matter, because this is it. All right, how much time I have? Okay, I'll wrap it up. But something I always share on my calls, whenever I do like guest speaking calls, is my keys to success, because I know everybody likes to ask me, like, what did you do, like, to get to that point where you could quit in a year? Or what did you do to do those things? I'm gonna give them to you really fast because I don't want to take up all of your time. But they're all really common sense. They're things you guys already know. They're not rocket science. That's why I feel like I can whip through them. But they're things that I know for me, every time I heard it, even at this point in my business, if you guys read this list to me, I'm like, oh yeah, like, I still feel like you're right. Because sometimes we need that reminder of going back to the basics. I feel like that's a theme this year with Beachbody, is going back to the basics of doing your workout, drinking your Shakeology, reading your personal development. Like, don't skip over the basic stuff, because that's the stuff that's going to make your business, okay? So these are my keys to success. Number one, Success Club is a non-negotiable, because you have to help people. That is our business. Our business is helping people. You have to help 3 people a month. That's it, to hit Success Club. That's it. I'm sure you guys have bigger goals than that. Knowing Christina, I'm sure you guys shoot for the moon, obviously. But you have to help at least 3 people a month. You have to. When I asked Liz that question, what do I have to do? The first thing that she told me was, you have to help 3 people a month. You have to. It's not a question. Like, you have to. And she's like, if you want to be home with your kids in a year, you have to help 5 people a month. You have to. And so when I looked at my business, I'm like, well, I have to. Like, if I want to be home with my kids, so I'd sit here at night, exhausted, want to go to bed. I worked all day, but all I have to do is look over at my children and think, I have to get up and leave them tomorrow. And think about that gut-wrenching feeling that I had every single day. I was like, I will message the world. Like, I will talk to your mother and her mother and everyone else. I don't care. I will dig them up from their grave and I will talk to them, because that is how bad I want this. Number 2, power hour every damn day, and workout and shake. It has to happen. That was when I was working full time. I was very pressed for time. I didn't have a lot of time in my day, so I made time. My lunch hour was a mandatory lunch hour at my job. So I would shut my office door. I would turn off all of my things related to my job, and I would work my business for an hour in my office. I'd be eating my salad and like type in messages. It was great. I actually loved it because it was an uninterrupted hour of my day. If I waited till I got home, it was chaos. It was mayhem. And then by the time 9 o'clock rolled around, well, I was exhausted and I like didn't make any sense. So that was my time to get it done, to know that I did something for my business that day. Guaranteed 5 solid hours a week I was putting into power hours. Weekends were my time to like do my trainings and my groups and message a ton of people like that. But power hour every single day. You have to show up to your business every day. You have to. How mad would you be if Target didn't open their doors? Like, I would be pissed. Like, if I show up at Target and you're not open, like, I would cry. Like, you can't do that to people. You have to show up. Number 3, have a crystal clear vision. I used to say why, but I feel like vision is way more powerful, because it's like, I would sit here and I would think about being home with my kids, and I would literally visualize what it would feel like to wake up tomorrow and not go to work. Like, I would think about how that felt. Or maybe you have this weight of debt and you're like, how would it feel to wake up tomorrow, look at my bank account and see $10,000 extra there? Like, how would that feel? Like, what does that make me feel? Connect to what you want from this business, whatever it is. Make it light a fire inside of you. Like, you want it to be where you will literally message or talk to anybody, because it doesn't matter if they say no. You want this vision to happen. Number 4, set goals. Daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. That sounds like a lot, you guys, but it's not. But you have to have goals for yourself. I use Teamsy now. That's really, really nice. I don't know if you guys have heard of that or if you use that. But it's a great tool for like daily goals for I'm a checklist person. I don't know if you guys can relate to that at all, but I'm a total, like, I have to like be able to like, yes, I'm making progress, did it. Like, I don't know, I'm type A, I guess, that way. But so Teamsy is really good for like the daily stuff. Like, okay, I did my workout, I did my shake, I did my personal development, I did my social post, and now I have all these people I'm gonna message, and this is the order. But don't overcomplicate your goals, but you have to set them. You have to set a date to your goals. And at whatever date you think of, you should probably move it up like a month or a week, depending on what kind of goal it is. That was something Liz always challenged me to do, was like, she asked me when I wanted to hit diamond, right? When I signed up, and I was like, 6 months from now. She's like, let's cut that in half. She's like, you can do it a lot faster than that. And she's like, and if you do, it'll move you closer to your goal faster. So don't be scared of setting those goals. I didn't hit that goal. Just to be clear, it took me 4 months to hit diamond. But had I set the 6-month goal, you better believe it probably would have taken me 6 months to get there. So don't be afraid of goal setting. Don't be afraid of missing your goals. Learn how to bounce back from them. The faster you can learn how to bounce back, the better. All right, number 5, become an expert storyteller. Who are you? This is something I always tell my coaches, especially my new coaches, is like, I'm all about a Shakeology selfie. That's fine, but I want to know why. Like, if you're just posting yourself with your shaker and going, yum, like, that doesn't tell me squat. Like, why would I stop my scroll for that? I wouldn't. I'd be like, you're crazy. Like, this shit looks like garbage. Like, I wouldn't know what you're talking about. Give me some substance. Like, always ask yourself before you press post, why should anyone care? Like, why should anyone care what I have to say? Like, why does this matter? If you can answer that question, post. If you cannot answer that question, you may want to rethink what you're about to post. Number 6, personal development like it's a job, because it is. I was the person, I have my MBA, I'm super educated, I'm, in corporate America, I know what I'm doing. When Liz told me I had to do personal development, I'm like, self-help, bitch, please. Like, no. I needed self-help more than anybody. Like, you need personal development. Everyone does. You have to work on yourself. If your cup is empty, you cannot pour into other people. It's impossible. Empty cup does not work. 7, be a great student. One of my dear friends, Natalie Bailey, says, knowledge isn't power, it's potential power. I don't know if she took that from someone else now, but she used it on my team call one time, and I lashed onto that sucker. I love that phrase because it's true. You're learning everything, but you're not doing anything with that knowledge. That is a waste of your time. If you're doing personal development, you should take something away from your personal development every single day that you can use in your life. If you aren't, you need to switch your personal development. Don't just learn everything. Don't memorize the P&P. Don't memorize your back office. Just know what you need to know to move forward. Learn as you go, okay? But be a good student. You should not be messaging Christina every 5 seconds with your questions. Like, you should be Googling that shit. You should be YouTubing. You should be checking your team page. You should be checking everywhere. You exhausting your resources before you message your upline, okay? Be a good student. Number 8, keys in the follow-up. That's pretty self-explanatory. But if you aren't following up with people, even the people that say no to you 100 times, you are missing out. And they are missing out because you're missing out. If you aren't following up, you're doing it. The people, your prospects, your future challengers, you're doing them a disservice. Number 9, I already covered this, recruiting is a gift. If you don't believe that, you're probably in the wrong business. If you don't believe that this opportunity is a gift, you need to check yourself, because it is, all right? Maybe your vision isn't big enough. Maybe you haven't been here long enough. then you need to learn more stories like mine where it is a gift. This opportunity has completely changed my life, and it will change yours too if you believe in it. Number 10, consistency is your best friend. You have to be consistent. Show up every day. And it's not difficult. Like I said, it's not difficult. It's Shakeology. What does that take you? 5 seconds to make, and I guess depends on how slow of a sipper you are, but I pretty much chug mine in like 5 seconds. However long your workout is. I mean, like this isn't hard, you guys, right? But be consistent and show up every day. Don't make excuses. Don't be like, well, I'll just do it tomorrow. Like, no, do it now. I'm going to close with this. I asked, Kim Carver was at the retreat, and I had a one-on-one with him, and I asked him, you know where I am in my business. What do I need to know to move forward? Like, what advice would you give me? Not knowing who I am, but just knowing my stats. Like, what advice would you give me? And he said, honestly, self-discipline and time. He's like, the only difference between you and Christina or Liz is time and self-discipline. Self-discipline being doing the things that you don't want to do anyway. So like if you hate inviting people, you need to invite people every single day. Like you need to be disciplined in that. If you like it, that's not discipline. It's the things you don't like to do and doing it consistently that you need to do. All right, I'm gonna like check some questions, Christina. I feel like there's been.
Wow. So can I jump in while you look at this thread?
Oh yeah, please do.
Well, that's why I wanted Danielle on this call, right? To share her story, to share why it's so important. I think there's a few lessons that you can get out of her story besides the tips, right? I can go into the tips, but you've heard the tips before, right? And on our team calls, when you have guest speakers, when you go to Summit, when you listen to the National Wake Up Calls, the messages that successful coaches share are always pretty much the same. I talked about this in our 2%ers group that we just started today on our call. I said, whether it's coming from me or Danielle or Liz or anyone, it's hit success club, be consistent, have discipline. I mean, those things are always going to remain the same when we talk about Team Beachbody. But it's in the story that I think you get the lessons, right? Number one is how you don't give up on people. How you can have the most frustrating customer in the world. You can have that person that ordered off of Amazon. You can have that person that returned Shakeology even. You don't give up on people. It's very easy because we're in a go, hit successive kind of environment that we forget that behind every challenge pack, behind those successful points is a person and their story and why they are at where they're at, right? Danielle could have easily never called back Coach Relations and said, wait, take that back. I take that back, right? But Liz had the courage to speak up and say, what are you doing? Let's cast a vision for your life. Let's do something different. So that's lesson number one. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but having a strong and powerful vision or why, when she talked about, that the horrible winter and having to go to work with this big storm, and then when she did well at home and then the boss criticizing her, at that moment realizing that that's not right, and whether you love your job or hate your job or whatever, understand that this business is a gift and can provide a whole different kind of environment for you and for your family. Whether you keep your job or don't keep your job, it is completely life-changing. And I think the most important lesson is this concept of recruiting as a gift, right? Think about the people that you can bless with this opportunity, right? And I know some people don't like when we use those kind of floofy, flowery words, but the way that I see it is I'm not doing my job if I'm not talking about this business opportunity with the people that I care about, right? You have to do it. Number one, that's what grows a business. But number two, like I said it at Super Saturday or Super Sunday this past weekend, raise your hand if this business has added value to your life. Every single person raised their hand in the room, and I said, okay, then go share it. Go share it, because you can have someone like Danielle in your life that struggles with weight, that has the issue. I mean, we all struggle with weight, right? We all do. And in the grand spectrum of it, we all do. And we can make a difference, a big difference, if we just get the courage to step up, to be different, and to talk more to people, right? You can sponsor the next Danielle Whitford on your team if you just have the balls to do it. You know what I mean? Like, just get out there and stop quitting on yourself and stop giving up, because all of our stories are powerful. All of us had the opportunity. We all said yes already. Now it's just about having the balls to run with that decision and go all in, like Danielle said. Yes. Another thing that I wanted to mention is something I talk about in my sneak peeks, which a lot of times we don't know how to address this with our customers or with our coaches. Lots of people think in terms of the negative, right? What will this opportunity take from me? That's the way we are as human beings are programmed to think. This takes time from me. It takes money from me because you have to buy Shakeology and your business fees. It takes my concentration away because all of a sudden now I'm part of this team and there's Facebook notifications, there's Instagram notifications, and I'm going crazy in your time. And it adds stress, right? It takes your sanity sometimes away because we have goals to hit, and we need to stop and think and flip our thinking on that, and flip the way that our prospects and our customers see it and our coaches see it, and show what it gives, because this business gives so much. Danielle talked about the community, right? Aren't you guys happy you're part of this community and of the support that you get, not only on your fitness, but on changing your life and your lifestyle and your business? It gives the fitness accountability. It gives the mentorship. It gives friendship. It gives the network. Like, you know, even like today I had a prospect call and she's like, oh, I'm in Miami. And I'm like, oh, you know, we have a huge team in Miami. Like, think about that. Like, you're a realtor and now you're joining a team of like 30,000 people in Miami. Like, that's a great thing. Stop thinking about what it's going to take and start thinking about what it's going to give. And when you flip your thinking on that, then you're going to be able to speak that way, and you're going to be able to impart that passion and that and that message to your people, and they're going to start getting it and getting it faster. So Danielle, did you have anything else?
Sylvia just asked how long between signing up and going all in. It was 6 months. So I signed up in July of 2013, and I was all in January of 2014. That was the only one I think that wasn't answered though.
Yeah. It's pretty incredible. You have an incredible story. I love you, girl.
Thanks for having me, you guys. You guys are awesome.
It was a great call. I love the story. I hope you guys took a lot. I mean, I saw the comments and everybody was like, I needed to hear this. I love your story. I can relate to you. And that's exactly why Danielle is successful. That's exactly why Danielle is on our call tonight, because I wanted you to understand that when someone has vision and someone makes the decision to be successful, that you can execute on that, right? That you can absolutely execute on that, but it has to be that crystal clear. And Danielle was that crystal clear when she made the decision with Beachbody. So, all right, well, it's been an hour. I got to let you guys go. And you have your team call, like that's starting in like 2 seconds. So you guys have a recording for you to share. Danielle, thank you so much. Follow Danielle. She's got great social media. You guys can learn a lot from her. So bye-bye, everybody. Love you.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Bye.